Okay guys, so this is the guide, 5-minute quick bite-sized guide for Black Morass in TBC. So first thing you'll notice is a wave counter at the top. We need to get through 18 waves in total, and we get a boss at wave 6, 12 and 18. There's 2 possible mobs at each wave that you encounter, the first one being the Chronolord, which has a mortal strike effect which will absolutely demolish low-level sort of geared tanks. So it's important that you keep them topped off. It does a knockdown, so DPS obviously watch your threat because the tank's not going to be able to generate threat while it's stunned. And it also around 20% does a frenzy, so during the frenzy make sure you nuke it quick. On each wave that's not a boss, it'll either be a Rift Lord or this one, which is a Rift Keeper. So the Rift Keeper has got a Curse of Vulnerability, which increases magical damage taken. Get rid of this quick. And it does a Shadow Bolt Volley, which is non-interruptible, but it can be spell reflected by a warrior, and it will fear the person who's second on the threat. Also frenzies, so at low health, make sure you nuke it quick. There's lots of smaller adds like casters and whelps. These need to be nuked as soon as they spawn, particularly the casters, because it can be very dangerous when combined with Curse of Vulnerability. Your DPS should always be focusing adds before the big add. So once you've done 5 waves, your 6th wave is actually going to be the boss, which is Chronolord Deja. Not very difficult, it's quite similar to a tank and spank to be fair. So Arcane Discharge, which just does some random AoE around him. The one ability that's not actually listed here is a Chain Lightning, but you will see it on the clip that's playing at the moment. So it's got about a 45-yard range. Don't worry about trying to escape it because you won't. And it does an Arcane Blast as well, so just normal damage plus 36. This ordinarily will just be on the tank. And then it does a Time Lapse, so Time Lapse increasing the time between an enemy's attacks by 60% and slowing its movement. This can be dispelled, so your healer or anybody who can dispel, just dispel this and there's no problems. Just keep on top of the adds as well, because they do continue to spawn during this boss fight. So you might want to dedicate a rogue or a set person who's going to keep the adds either on the tank or off the healers. But nuke the adds, nuke the boss, easy, tank and spank boss. So what you're going to do next is you're then going to do another 5 waves. So you're going to run around killing adds, you know, your Rift Lords, your Rift Keepers, and then you're going to get the second boss, which is this guy here. So Temur, his name is. Very dangerous boss to be fair. So he does Hasten, which is dispellable. So your shamans can purge, your priests can dispel. You can get rid of that completely, which is obviously ideal. You don't want it on him. He does a typical dragon move, Wing Buffet, which just knock back, yeah, and a small amount of damage, so nothing to worry about there. But the big one is Mortal Wound. This makes it an absolute just DPS race because it stacks. So unless you're going to have like a second tank in a 5-man, like an off tank, taunting when they get sort of 5 stacks, you're basically racing to kill this boss before your tank inevitably just can't survive because he's going to be taking 100% less healing. You can see Banished Dragon Helper at the top. This is on every boss. So you get your chrono spheres that you can use, your beacons, to pull out a Dragon Helper. On bosses, they actually added it in later patches where it will instantly just despawn the helper. So really, you want to be using the helper on trash. Then this takes us to the last boss, which you'll get to after you've done another 5 waves. So this boss, Aeunus is his name. He does a cleave in front of him. He does a Sand Breath in front of him, so it's important that melee stand behind, obviously. He also does Time Stop, which is very, very similar to Time Lapse, which is on Chromagus in Blackwing Lair. So this makes handling threat quite important because everybody's obviously going to get stunned from the Time Stop, but you'll get Rep Paladins bubble out of it, you know, mages blink out of it, and carry on nuking. If you do this, just be mindful that you could quite easily over-aggro the tank. Now, this boss isn't overly difficult on normal. It's very, very difficult on heroic. But a little tip, even though it banishes dragon helpers, there is a way that you can drop your chrono beacon to pull your dragon helper out. And if you put it behind him at the Tau, when the boss is on around 50 to 70% health, they will actually nuke. But you just need the tank to constantly just spam taunt on cooldown because that's sort of been a bit of a problem. Obviously, the dragons do so much damage that they could quite easily get over-aggroed, that you over-aggro your tank, and then the boss will despawn it. This is not really ideal. It's not meant to be like that, but if you're really struggling on the last boss, it's just a little cheesy mechanic that you might be able to make work. So I hope you like this short guide. Obviously, make sure you like, subscribe, check out the giveaway, all that sort of stuff. And I will see you on the next one.